Hello guys, welcome back again. This is Herminio. This is the fourth presentation in the series of presentations on EPA formatting and style guide. We are now on the fourth presentation. If you want to see and watch the first, second, and third presentation, go to the description of this video and find the link, click and watch. Again, if you are new to this channel and if you like our presentation and you want to support us, like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for you to get notified on our next presentation. So, references and citation. Shall we go? Now, these are references basics. Now, if you want to, for example, the first one is invert author's names, last name first followed by initials. So this is on the referencing. So when you write the author last name first, comma followed by initials of the author, like for example Smith, comma J. Q. Now capitalize only the first letter of the first word of the title and subtitle. So again, when you write the reference name first, invert the author's name, followed by the title. Capitalize only the first letter of the title of the first word of the title and subtitle. The first word after a colon or a dash in a title and proper nouns. Take note of this. Do not capitalize the first letter of the second word in a hyphenated compound word. We have an example. So the perfectly formatted paper. The first word of the title and the first letter T is capitalized. Colon, after a colon, you may capitalize or you must capitalize the first letter of the word. How it's you have to qualify, you have to capitalize. Yeah, after the colon, and also proper noun like Purdue, OWL, you also capitalize. Again, proper names or proper nouns, make sure you capitalize it. The first word after a colon or a dash in the title, make sure you capitalize. But hyphenated compound word, the second word, do not capitalize. This is when you do referencing. Take note for that. Now, another is capitalize also all major words in journal titles. Again, capitalize all major words in journal titles. Italize titles of longer works such as books and journals. Do not italize, underline, or put quotes around titles of shorter works such as journal titles or essays in edited collections. So you have there the example. See the example. Okay. See that. Now, you have the example there. The title is italize and major words are, the initials are capitalized. Okay? The initials, the first letter of the major words in the journal titles are capitalized. Take note for that. By the way, if you want to see more of this, of the actual slides, I would like also to share the link of my slides share for, for this presentation, so that you can have access of the PowerPoint if you want to review things. Next is on making the reference list. EPA is a complex system of citation. That's why I advise you to use the automated Microsoft Word referencing. Okay? Because this will save you time. Or else you will really have to look into the list of how to do reference listing or referencing in the from the manual. So that are the things that you have to remember. Either use MS Word, Microsoft Word, automated referencing and citation, or you have with you the manual by your side. while you write your essays or your professional paper or your research paper. Now, APA is a complex system of citation. When compiling the reference list, the strategy below might be useful. So identify the type of source. Is it a book, a journal, article, or a web page? First thing you do when you do your reference list, identify. Second, find a sample citation of this type of source. By the way, there is a link here from the Purdue Online Writing Lab of how will you do further. But by the way, I would like to discuss more on this topic, particularly on making citation and referencing. Then mirror the sample. Okay, what do you see? Mirror, meaning to say, not copy, but make it appear like what have you seen from the sample. Okay, now make sure that the entries are listed in an alphabetical order and that the subsequent lines are indented. Okay, recall the reference basics. Now in the in-text citation, in-text citations help readers locate the cited source in the references section of the paper. In-text citation follow either the parenthetical format or a narrative format. Now, we have two examples here. The first is the parenthetical citation, includes both the author's last name and year of publication separated by a comma in parentheses at the end of the sentence. For example, this, the one below, okay? Now, you have there Atkins in parentheses, Atkins, comma, 2018. Now, if it is in a narrative citation, okay, Atkins, and only the year in parentheses, okay? So, the surname of the author, the last name of the author is part of the narrative. Only the year of publication, which is in a parenthesis. Okay, take note of the difference. Now, next is when it includes page numbers. So if the source you are citing includes page numbers, add the information to your citation. For a parenthetical citation, the page numbers follows the year of publication, separated by a comma and with a lowercase p and a period before the number p. Okay? So you have an example below. In a parenthetical citation, of course, last name of the author, comma, year, comma, then a letter P, period, then the page. You have there 12. Now for the narrative citation, of course, you'll have the surname as part of the narrative, and then the year in parentheses, and in the last part, okay, of the statement, in parentheses, the letter P, period, and the page number 12. Now, in text citations, when there are quotations, so when quoting, by the way, I have also a presentation on how to make quotations, okay, and paraphrase statements. In your, in your when you write a literature review or when you cite, so how will you do it? Making quotations and so I have another video presentation. Just go into the research the research series of presentation of my channel. So if you want to go into all of this, so parentheses and quotations, how to make quotations and how to make paraphrases, you will have there. So if using the parenthetical citation, include the author date of the publication and page number at the end of the quotation. So after you make the end quotation mark, parenthesis, and inside the parenthesis, last name, comma, year of publication, comma, letter P, period, and the year of, I mean the page number of the source. Now, if it is used, if using the narrative style citation include the author's last name, and in the single phrase with the page number at the end of the quote. Okay, you see there. So after the quotation marks, then that's the time you indicate the parenthesis and P period, the page number. Now, summary or paraphrase. Now, follow the same guidelines for parenthetical and narrative citations when summarizing or paraphrasing a longer chunk of text. Again, take note of that. So when you paraphrase, again, this is the examples. And if you want to do it in your paper, again, remember the suggested way of doing it. Mirror. Okay, what did you see here? Mirror it with your paper. That's that technique. So we have it here. There are multiple authors. So for example, for parenthetical citations after the text, okay, then the parenthesis, open parenthesis, the first author, comma, followed by the second author, then an, and then another author, comma, and the year of publication. But on the narrative citation, the authors separated by comma, and then before the third author, you will have the word and then in parenthesis the year of publication. So again, mirror on the wall. This is the thing there. Now, in text citation, single words. Now, introduce quotations with signal phrases. There are, words that will help you to start to introduce that you are making quotations. For example, according to Reynolds argued that, remember this term, argued that, or according to. Now, use signal verbs such as acknowledged, contended, maintained, responded, reported, argued, concluded, etc. If you are not very good on these words, try to look at online what are words other than the one given in this presentation. Use the past tense or the present perfect tense of verbs in signal phrases when they discuss past events. Okay? Now, in text citations, two or more works, when the parenthetical citation includes two or more works, order them in the same way they appear in the reference list. Take note for that. So therefore, in the reference list, it appears alphabetically. Okay? Therefore, you will have also to make sure that in the parenthetical citation, in parentheses, the authors, multiple, two or more, are ordered, okay, alphabetically based from as it appears in the reference list. Again, author's name, the year of publication, just separate them with semicolon, and then another name, last name of the author, comma, and year of publication. If there are more, then just separate each of the set in a semicolon. Now, works with two authors. Now, when citing a work with two authors in the narrative citation, use and, A-N-D, conjunction and, okay, not the the symbol and, but use the word and conjunction in between the author's name. In parenthetical citation, use the and between names, the symbol and. Okay? When examining potential, the one that you have there at the top. So take note for that. In narrative citation, use the conjunction and, complete words for the conjunction and use only the shortened and in the parenthetical citation. So you have the example above. Now, in works with 3+ authors, 3 or more authors, you start with, take note of that, it al. So when will you start using it al? Okay? When you have 3+ authors. We have more than 3 authors. Okay? If you have 2 or 3, simply separate it with a conjunction and. So you have an example there, Lin, no comma, it al. It al means that there are more authors. There are more than 3 authors. Okay? After Lin. Okay? Take note of that. There are more than 3 authors, 3 or more authors after Lin. Only in the narrative, only put the year in parentheses, but for parenthetical citations, in text citation, the surname in it al, comma 2019. Remember, there is a period after the al. Okay? ET space AL period. Okay? Take note of that. The surname of the first author, then space ET space AL period. Okay? Or in the case of a parenthetical citation, comma, then you will have the year of publication. Take note again, mirror on the wall. So mirror the example in your paper. Now, and for unknown authors, what you will do is you use the title of the article. So use the source's full title in narrative citation. You have the example above, the first example. Now, only cite the first words of the title in a parenthetical citation. So here's sometimes when you put it there, sometimes you might be confused. But again, put a quotation marks, meaning it's a title, not a last name of an author. Because if it's a last name of an author, there is no quotation marks. Okay, of here's. Now, again, titles, articles, and chapters, put quotation marks. Books and reports, italize. Take note of that. Articles and chapters, put quotation marks. Books and reports, italize. Okay? Now, group authors, take note of this, like organizations. When citing a group author, mention the organization the first time you cite the source in either the narrative citation or in parenthetical citation. If you first mention the group in a narrative citation, list the abbreviation before the year of publication in parentheses, separated by a comma. Take note of that. If you first mention the group in a narrative citation, list the abbreviation before the year of publication in parentheses, separated by a comma. You have an example there. Okay? Now, if you first mention the group in a parenthetical citation, list the abbreviation in square brackets, okay, followed by a comma and the year of publication. I hope you understand, guys. Again, look at the example above. Now, in text citation, same last name or author. Okay. What will you do? When citing authors with the same last names, use the first initials with the last names. Okay? Again, if the same name, like for example, below Dives, but use the initial of the first name to to show that they are really not the same author. Okay? And then you have period, initial of the first name, period, then space, the name of the author, comma, then the year of publication. Separate it with a semicolon. Again, first letter or initials of the first name of the author. Then you will have the last name, comma, and the year of publication. So when citing two or more works by the same author and published in the same year, what will you do? The same author, but multiple works published in the same year. To avoid confusion, use the letter case use the lowercase letters A, B, C, and so on after the year of publication to order the references. Like, for example, 2018 Chins 28 parenthesis 2018A, or Chins 2018B, and so on. If it publishes 5 books in the year and it is the 5th, so you have Chins 2018E, or for example, he has 6, then 2018F. Okay, see the example above. Now, personal communication. When citing personal communication like interview, letters, emails, etc., include the communicator's name, the fact that it was personal communication, and the date of the communication. So you have an example there. Again, include the communicator's name, and it indicate that it was a personal communication, and the date of the communication. You have an example there. So the communicator's name, B.E. Anderson. So you have there parenthesis, indicate personal communication, comma, then the month, the day of the communication, personal communication, comma, then 2018, close parenthesis. Okay? For parenthetical, okay, what you will do is surname, comma, and then personal communication, and then of course month, the day, and the year of publication. So you will have there. Okay, do not include personal communications in the reference list. Okay, take note for that. Do not include personal communication in the reference list. No page numbers. When citing a text with no page numbers, parenthetical citation, use any of the following 4 methods. Less the heading or section name. Take note of that. Okay? So use the headings or section name, or less an abbreviated heading or section name in quotation marks. So you have an example below. If the heading is too long, so, or less the number of paragraph numbers. Simply put para, then period, the page. Or less the heading of the section name and the paragraph number. See there. I hope you can see it. Okay? You have there the author's name, comma, 2019, then you have there the section name or the heading name, then comma, then put para, period 2, or paragraph, no? And then no page numbers. When citing a text with no page numbers, in a narrative citation, use any of the following 4 methods. Again, citing a text with no page numbers, then that's how you do it. Okay? You have an example there. I think they are the same with the previous slides. So yeah, so citing, that is in the parenthetical. Now we are in the narrative. Okay, take note for that. London is in parenthesis for in the parenthetical citation, but here London is part in the statement of the narrative. Okay, take note for number 2, same thing. Use the abbreviated heading or section name, and then for number 3, list the paragraph number. Okay, and then you have also the other one, list the headings or section name and the paragraph number. So you see there the example. And then the last, by the way, I don't like to say the last because I want to follow more of this. Aside from this series, I will have more on EPA formatting and style guide for us really to do well in our research paper. So for headings, tables, and figures, um, I hope you will watch on the next presentation. That's all for citation and referencing. But again, I will have more on referencing and citations in our next videos in the 11th edition of the Publications Manual of the American Psychological Association. Again, if you like our video presentation, and if you like to watch more, subscribe, hit the notification bell, choose all for you to get notified. For now, bye-bye and see you around. Thank you.